Aiming up YouTube, welcome back to a new video with Rams fan YT. In today's video, we will be looking at the Championship, in particular, their business each club has done during the winter transfer break, or winter transfer, or January transfer, or whatever you want to call it. Some of them were obviously not done in January because there were free transfers. I don't know if that applies to this list or not, but I know it did apply to the Premier League, who seems very quiet compared to usual. The Championship are a bit more busy, with only my club, Derby County, not signing anyone, for obvious reasons. So we'll start off with Barnsley. I've gone with Domingos Quina. Quina was born in the former Portuguese colony of Guinea-Bissau in Africa, but is the son of former Portugal international Samuel Quina, and both father and son came through the youth ranks of Benfica. Domingos joined Chelsea in 2013 and started to shine in youth football in England. He's technically very good, athletically very good, and very gifted in terms of his movement and awareness. He appears to be a very clever player, especially for his age. As well as those attributes, he shows he can score goals and create too. Character-wise, he is quite an aggressive player, as well when he plays. He seems to have a good work ethic and have that hunger to win the ball back for his team. And that's really how a player can get to the top, if he has that about him, as well as an ability to affect games. Queen, as it happened, made just one start from seniors and 5 more from the bench in cup competitions for West Ham. More recently, he had some games with Fulham, and he still stands out. He's definitely got the ability to step up. Birmingham City. Juninho Bacuna. Bacuna is a midfielder who can progress the ball from deep, and is defensively sound enough to occasionally line up at right back, but seems more natural going forward. Upon watching him, it's clear he needs structure around him. Whether he has the discipline to fulfil the defensive responsibilities bestowed upon a central midfielder at Birmingham in high-level games remains to be seen. But given the position requires such a variety of skills, he could excel there. Throughout his career at Huddersfield, he has played everywhere from right back to attacking midfield. This flexibility suggests he is a player who would suit the positional play that Birmingham often utilise domestically, and who could be coached to assist him. He scored some impressive goals during his time in Yorkshire, including a fair few in transition. His athleticism and well-timed runs allow him to start and end moves very well. He can carry the ball over distance and performs well in one-on-one duels. Midfielders now adopt a more press-resistant skill set, something Bacuna clearly has. Furthermore, Bacuna is capable of finding space in between lines and receiving the ball on the half turn, and can also manipulate space using body orientation and feints. He also possesses impressive vision. As well as this, he often uses players standing off him through fear of being beat one-on-one as an opportunity to use a teammate as a bounce passer to progress up the pitch. Bacuna has all the offensive skills and mobility of an offensive midfielder. The languid, effortless style he can play with is reminiscent of Aribo and Kamara. Both possess a skill set that can help Birmingham break teams down by beating players one-on-one and to break down defensive blocks. Blackburn Rovers, Dylan Mcconde. This is an academy product, so it took me a bit of a while to research this one. But Markande is an exciting winger who is adept at playing on either flank, as well as in the hole as a number 10. The Spurs academy player had been a key player for Matt Wells' high-flying under-18 side so far this season. Dylan scored 7 goals for Spurs under-16s during the 2016-17 campaign before signing a scholarship terms with Spurs in the summer of 2017. Markande made his debut for their under-18 side in the opening day victory over Norwich City at the beginning of the 2017-18 season. Dylan scored his first goal at the under-18 level in that 4-0 win, and it was during his first year of scholarship at Spurs that the tricky winger became a mainstay in the under-18 side. The North Londoner was consistent for Scott Parker's side that season, and he chipped in with 9 goals and 4 assists from 22 appearances for their under-18s. The jinking winger impressed greatly at the Al-Khaz tournament in Qatar in January 2018, and he also impressed at the Bulgaro Magione Rigi tournament in Italy, where he was awarded with the Best Overseas Player of the Tournament award. Markande was also an important member of the under-18 side, which reached the final of the Premier League Cup. Dylan was excellent for the entirety of the 2017-18 season, however, and he has upped his game this season, and his statistics in the 2018-19 prove that. This is a 2018-19 season. I don't know what I'm saying this season. Clearly an old source, so forgive me about that. I have not been paying. I've not researched clearly properly what season it was referring to. After impressing in pre-season for their development side in the Tournoi European out in France, the youngest of their second-year scholars has been a regular starter for Spurs under-18s. Furthermore, Markande has also appeared in all but one of their under-19s UEFA Youth League matches this season. Dylan scored 7 goals and assisted on 3 occasions from the 20 games that he was involved in all competitions for the youth sides during 2018-19. Markande is a direct right winger. However, Dylan is a player who possesses great skill, and he is naturally talented winger who loves to go on weaving runs down the flank. Markande is one of the most skillful players who ever that I've seen at the Spurs under-18 level, to be fair. Although he isn't particularly quick over long distance, his balance and ability to weave his way around defenders is one of his greatest attributes. It was compared to a young George Best, such was the quality of his mazy runs. Markande created more chances than any other player on the pitch, and even though he has portrayed his dazzling skills so many times before, there was something quite special about his performance against Norwich. He was electric down the right flank, constantly looking to beat players and wrong-foot defenders as he drifted on inside onto his left foot. Defences are unable to get the ball off him as he cuts them open with his dazzling skill and exceptional close ball control and balance. Dylan is a very small player in both size and stature, however he is remarkably strong for his small frame. The technically gifted Markande is a highly adaptable player who can play anywhere across the front line. The 20-year-old has also filled in at fullback. He is a player who likes to drive at defensive, and it's from those driving runs that Dylan is at his most dangerous. With his low centre of gravity and many twists and turns, Markande is able to wriggle his way out of difficult situations. Dylan's footballing idol is the one and only Lionel Messi, and the Spurs youngster likes to dribble in a similar way to the Argentine superstar. Don't get me wrong, Markande is a very direct winger who is always looking to take players on and create chances for his teammates, but he isn't exceptionally quick. But when he does run at players with speed, he is very hard to dislodge off the ball. When you see a player dancing around the pitch like a young George Best, beating players with such ease and panache, then you know that you're watching a special young talent. The nimble-footed Markande is an extremely difficult player to defend against. His darting movement and weaving runs make him almost impossible to track. For all of his technical ability, one of Dylan's most impressive traits is that rare ability to ride challenges so well. He is a tough player who doesn't go to ground easily, and he somehow manages to stay balanced despite the most cynical of fouls and crunching challenges against him. Markande doesn't let his size affect him when he comes up against older and more physical players. The youngster's sheer skill and low centre of gravity compensates for his size and lack of muscle. He is a very intelligent young footballer who is able to wriggle away from players while under pressure. The 20-year-old has an exceptionally high work rate, and his defensive contribution to games is always top class. He is a real grafter who tracks back well after himself, and he's actually a good tackler, and that's why he has been played at fullback on the odd occasion. Markande is also good off the ball, and he is an aggressive presser who is good at closing defenders down and putting them under pressure. There's so much to say about Dylan's style of play because he's such a technically gifted attacking player. A good read of the game, Markande has a sharp footballing brain, and his off the ball movement is something to be admired. He is good at creating space for himself down the flanks, and the timing of his runs down the channels is quite impressive. As much of a creative force as Dylan is, with his darting runs and attacking forays, and good weight of pass, Markande is a real goal threat. He is particularly dangerous on the edge of a penalty area, where he will look to test the goalkeeper with a curling low effort towards the far corner of the goal. The wing is also very quick to loose balls inside the danger zone, and he is often the first to efforts which have been parried by the goalkeeper. While Markande is a good finisher who scores a good amount of goals per season, he was also one of the most creative players at Spurs Academy. He so often provides with that all-important spark in matches, where creativity is lacking. He's such an unselfish team player who is a craftsman in his own right. He can pick a pass with precision, and they can see gaps in the opposition defence, which few other players notice really. So that's what makes him stand out. Dylan Markande is a player who has serious potential, and his versatility will stand him in good stead over the coming seasons as he continues his development. It's an absolute joy to see Dylan take players on with such confidence and composure. He is so slick in possession, and some of the footwork and movement from Markande this season has been absolutely sensational. Blackpool, Jake Beasley. He has impressed with his performances for Rochdale over the last 2 seasons and fits the mould of the players Blackpool need. He's hungry, ambitious, and wants to improve. He's a player who likes to press from the front. He adds to the attacking options they have at the club. A combative hard worker, happy to press aggressively throughout games, Beasley fits the role off the ball that Neil Critchley wants from his players. A physical threat, especially in the air, and someone who finds himself with plenty of high quality chances. Bournemouth, Kieffer Moore. Moore has an outstanding physical appearance, with 1.95 metres height and an athletic and strong build. For that reason, his teammates try to reach him deep in the field. Moore most of the time will receive a ball under pressure and try to do link-up play. Because of his physical characteristics, we can see Moore coming deep into the box and helping his team to defend at set plays. That is because of his height. He can be an extra defender and can prevent a disadvantageous situation in the box, or help the team to avoid conceding a goal. Moore's analysis shows that he is a player with a good finishing ability in the box. He tries to take up a good position around the goal area, which will give him an extra advantage against his markers. He tries to read the game and be at the right point at the right time. He will try to position himself in between the defenders, but move will upgrade the difficulty level for the defenders, as they will have to cooperate greatly in tight situations and communicate with each other. To take up the best position compared to his markers, Moore scans the area when a teammate has the ball. That helps him to take up a better position, which will give him a lead when his teammate makes the pass. Moreover, he will not only take up a better position compared with his markers, but he will also know what is his positioning compared with the goal and the opposing goalkeeper, which gives him a lead when he receives the ball to meet a shot in an efficient way. Moreover, Moore tries to unmark himself from his personal marker by doing different moves. He tries to move in and in between the defenders, but he also tries to back and forth movements. With the back and forth movements, he can get the defender out of position. In this way, he can take advantage of the free space and the poor positioning of his marker. Additionally, Moore, as a striker, tries to play on the shoulder of the last defender. That gives him a great advantage in receiving the ball behind the defensive line. His physical characteristics make him a striker who can receive the ball under pressure and be the linking player. These kinds of players are useful in a team mostly for two reasons. Firstly, they can receive long balls, which is helpful for a team, and especially if this team gets pressed high up in the field. By doing so, the striker gives time to the rest of the team to take up a high position in the field. The second reason is that these kinds of strikers usually can drag their opponents out of position. In similar situations, a player from the wide areas can go narrow in behind the defensive line and take advantage of this scenario. Additionally, Moore is a player with vision and extra skills that make him unpredictable. It is good for a team when a player is unpredictable, and especially if that player is a striker. Those extra skills could give him a lead in tight areas and situations. For a striker, these situations are usually taking place in the box, and most of the people would agree that for a striker, his finishing ability, especially around the goal area, is important. When his team doesn't have the ball, Moore tries to press high up the field and block the build-up out from the back. By taking a high position on the field, he puts pressure on the goalkeeper, who tries to play safe and secure passes to centre-backs. Moore's high positioning doesn't allow the opponent to play the ball safely out the back. Moreover, his communication with his teammates is good. He tries to organise his teammates and guides them to where they can pressure the opponents more efficiently. Communication is a key skill in football because when a team, for example, is pressing high up the field without communication, the pressing will be uncoordinated, which will lead to empty spaces in behind them, and the opponent can break their lines easily. Because of his physical characteristics, Moore is a player that many managers would use in their tactics as a tool for the defensive set plays. His height and build make him a remarkable player in the box when the team attempts to defend set pieces. Moore usually takes up a position in the front area and tries to protect that space. Another way that the manager used Moore in the defensive part of the game is set plays, was by positioning him in the wall. Moore is 1.95 metres high, which makes him a tall and big player. When an opponent has a free kick at close distance to the goal, Moore could be a huge obstacle to overcome. Taking that as a fact, and the chance that he could probably attempt a little jump, we can see how difficult it would be for the free kick taker to put the ball over the wall and threaten the goalkeeper without sending the ball out of play. Bristol City, Tim Close. He makes it difficult for players on his pitch due to his experience and ability to win headers and clearing danger on land and in the air. He's imposing in physicality and height. Close lives up to the tag of being solid and generally unspectacular in a good way. He looks comfortable on the ball in his own half, but in the opposite half he can be a target man for corners and throw-ins. When on the ball he has an expansive passing range, therefore he can transition from defence to counter-attack. He loves defending and has an eagerness of shrugging off markers. He also closes angles down. Cardiff City, Jordan Hugill. Hugo is a target man forward, has great strength, and is able to outmuscle opposition defenders. Former Port Vale teammate Tom Pope stated that Hugo had an excellent attitude and was desperate to learn and improve. The 25-year-old's game is built upon his strength and hold-up play. He is a bruiser and a menace for championship defences, who is comfortable winning the ball in the air or with his back to goal. I can see him really as a perfect replacement for Kieffer Moore at Cardiff, actually. Coventry City, Jake Bidwell. Jake Bidwell will bring a wealth of championship experience to his new club. The 28-year-old's arrival provides competition at left back, and renowned for his ability and pace. His pace and ability to attack effectively down the flanks. Bidwell is also a more than solid defender and his rounded game could come as no surprise given his background. Bidwell started his career at Everton, joining the Toffees as a goalkeeper at the age of 11. However, he fell out of love with life between the sticks and left the Everton setup, only to very quickly be invited back after easily adapting to outfield life. He found his position at left back and progressed through the ranks to make his first team debut against Bate Borisov in the Europa League in 2009 under David Moyes, an appearance that made him the youngest player to represent Everton in European competition. Bidwell, who was capped by England at under 16, under 17, under 18, and under 19 level, skippered the Merseysiders to a Premier League Academy title, and spent 2 spells on loan at Brentford to gain first team experience before making the move permanent in 2013. During his first full season at Griffin Park, Bidwell helped the Bees secure automatic promotion to the Championship, being named in the PFA League One Team of the Year for the 2013-14 campaign. He went on to help the Bees establish themselves in the second tier and become regular playoff contenders before moving to QPR. Bidwell spent 3 years at Loftus Road and took his number of championship appearances to 210 before making the move to the Liberty Stadium. Derby County in administration, so obviously didn't sign someone. But we did loan back Luke Plange, if you want to count that, but I don't really. Fulham, Nico Williams. The youngster put up a solid performances last season. He recorded 5.78 interceptions per game, which is pretty important for a fullback, and is also a testimony that Williams understands the game decently. Williams also made a whopping 8.38 recoveries per game, out of which a third come in the opposition half. An attacking fullback just like Trent, unlike Trent, he is good in the air too and wins some thrice every game. His attacking qualities are not bad either. Williams makes 5.45 dribbles per game, with a record of 2 successful dribbles for every 3 attempts. His long ball accuracy of 43.8% is quite decent and is something he can work upon. Not only the way he plays, but also where he plays is a lot like Trent. As if you look at Nico Williams' positioning, it's also similar to Trent, and therefore we can definitely say that the player's DNA of becoming a big player. Huddersfield Town, Carol Eiting. He is a creative force in the middle of the field. He could conjure up moments of joy for fans out of thin air. The fact that Eiting is a product of years of coaching at Ajax's academy and had made it through to their first team setup suggests he must have had something about him. One of the world's most proven academies has churned out star players for decades, so one of their alumni turning up in Huddersfield can only be good news for the team. Coming from Ajax means he's also had the experience of playing for a team that expects to win. Ajax are a big fish in a small pond in the Eredivisie and expect to win trophies. That kind of winning mentality is sorely missing in their dressing room. That's Huddersfield's dressing room. Another benefit of coming through Ajax's academy is that he should adapt quickly to Carlos's style of play. The deep-lying ball player isn't commonly used in England, where a combative defensive midfielder is more common. Ajax were pioneers of attractive possession-based football and still encourage that style of play to today. Despite the fact Eiting is likely to play mostly in front of the defence, you can expect him to be a source of creativity and someone that links up play between defence and attack. I can see him being the glue that holds the rest of the team together. The attacking side of Carlos Ball hasn't really clicked yet. Well, it has this season, but it hadn't really clicked when they signed him entirely. There was hit and miss performances. And this is most likely due to a lack of natural ball player in the middle of the pitch. Eiting could be that missing connection. He should also provide some relief for the keeper and defensive unit by dropping deep to pick the ball and or pick up the ball and distributing it upfield. That will probably mean fewer heart-in-mouth moments when caught in possession. His skill with set pieces, natural passing ability, and eye for a tackle are all tantalising. Hull City, Ryan Longman. He's equally adept across the front three as either a striker or an advanced winger. Longman fits Mccande's system, although I don't think Mccande's manager anymore, is he? Got rid of him. And style of play, as shown on loan for the first part of the season. He likes to be direct, he wants to be going forward, scoring goals, assist, just being a nuisance, really. Luton Town, Jed Steer. He led Villa to promotion from the Championship after conceding just 8 goals in the last 12 matches of the regular 2019-20 season. However, Jed Steer lost his place as the number 1. At 29, Jed Steer has played 150 fewer professional matches in his career and has made just 3 Premier League appearances. Steer is unquestionably a smaller wave in the goalkeeping ocean than Sluga, with one being a recognised Croatian goalkeeper, but in terms of suitability for Luton, Steer is an excellent keeper, fully deserving of his place as the number 1, which he will be now that Sluga's gone. Villa played a calm, dynamic, passing style of football, and Jed Steer has demonstrated since he came into that team, that he is more than capable of playing this way. His performances haven't been without the odd hiccup, but in terms of errors leading to goals, his record looks very healthy. In terms of stats, Jed Steer kept 5 clean sheets in 19 games, including the playoffs, conceding 15 goals. Notable, though, is his penalty success, saving 3 out of 7 that he faced, including the playoffs shootout, and Steer has shown immense character to make the cut at Villa. The keeper is entering what would you consider his prime, as he is 29, and Steer has proven himself to be good enough to wear the shirt for Luton Town after his performances with Villa. Middlesbrough, Riley Mcgree. While Riley Mcgree is a versatile midfielder that spent time playing virtually every role imaginable in the centre of the park and also out wide, he has now clearly proven to be best in an advanced attacking midfield role. Excused from a burden of too many defensive responsibilities, the Australian has become one of the league's deadliest threats in transition. Excellent at instinctively seeking out pockets of space vacated by the opposition defence and midfield, Mcgree is the fulcrum of attack in whatever part of the pitch their forward forays take shape. From these positions, Mcgree is a risk taker but is willing to gamble losing possession in pursuit of a killer ball. Dribble move or a deft touch that could stretch or unlock the defence. Primarily, he best plays weaving through tight spaces are born from his great first and second touch, rather than his dribbling ability. In fact, he completes only 54% of his dribbles and struggles to get past the defenders, marking him in isolated situations. He is one of the most intriguing skill sets in the league, an attacking midfielder whose quality is predicated more on his positioning and instinctual play than the standard technicians but traditionally grace the position. Positionally, he is given the license to roam and thrives when he does so. He moves from wing to just off the striker to a true central attacking midfield position, and even through midfield with the occasional defensive intervention at the edge of his team's penalty area. But evidently, it is advanced of the halfway line where he does the most damage. His sense of timing is making late runs into the box is superb. Cutbacks have been the primary source of his 2 league goals this season, but he also has proven to be in the right position to smash home rebounds from the goalkeeper and the woodwork. Generally, whenever he can latch onto the ball in the penalty area, he is lethal. Mcgree leads all midfielders and ranks 9th overall in expected goals per 90 minutes in the A-League in the 2019-20 season, with 0.5 of his 3.6 shots per 90 minutes. Conversely, he has only totaled 1.2 expected goals assisted for that season. The 23-year-old is more of a go-between than a creator. He prefers to dish the ball off to others so he can charge into a shooting position himself. This suits a wide counter-attacking scheme. He already has some key weapons at his disposal. His decision-making skills, wonderful positioning, timing of his attacking runs, and finishing ability inside the penalty area can take him a very long way if he continues to develop other parts of his game and become a more rounded player. Millwall, Oliver Burke. When you think of a modern day wingers, you think of Svelte, slinky, tricky little creatures, more likely to burst past you or run in behind than bulldoze and push. When you look at Oliver Burke, you think he's more likely to do that latter one. Burke is a big, tall, bulky lad for someone of his age and clearly takes his training seriously. With his size and strength, Burke is able to hold up the play if required and hold off a challenge when asked to contest a 50-50. The real positive to this strength, however, is not what it means for the players around him. The real benefit to this strength is the advantage it gives him when he starts to shift through the gears. Often it is assumed that tall, strong players can't be quick. Olly Burke is yet another example of how the qualities can coexist in an incredibly hard to handle bundle. Burke is quick, very quick, and beyond that, Burke's close control is such that the Scotsman can dribble, trick, and burst his way past many of the wing-backs and centre-backs that aren't paying him close enough attention. It's said that the one thing you hate to deal with as a defender is someone willing to run at you. But it occurs to me that the scariest thing to have is someone run at you and that you can't even out-muscle when you get close enough to try. Burke rarely goes missing in a match, and that is hugely encouraging. Add to that pace and strength and accomplished technical ability for someone young, and you have to have the complete package. Burke has a great first touch, and his close control is something to be admired in a player at 24 years old. When allowed to run, Burke can carry the ball clear down the field, taking on 2 or 3 opponents and taking them completely out of the equation. Nottingham Forest, Richie Laryea. Over the past 3 seasons with Toronto, Laryea has made 83 appearances across all competitions, playing primarily a right back and midfielder. During his time, he has tallied 9 goals. Also, Laryea has earned 22 caps with the Canadian national team, scoring 1 goal against Bermuda on the 25th of March 2021. Laryea's playing style employs his pace down the right-hand side of the pitch. He's an aggressive player and often draws fouls for his hard work. He's known to be a bit of an agitator on the pitch, which often seems getting in the middle of arguments. He finished the 2021 season with 5 yellow cards, with a total of 12 yellow cards during his Toronto career. Peterborough United. Giando Fuchs, something like that. Fuchs is a combative midfielder who will be moving it to his 5th country in his nascent career. He is the Cameroon international, making his debut against Brazil in 2018, who was turned out for France's under-19 and under-20 sides. These sides actually had Kylian Mbappe, so he just proves that he is among the best. The first thing that should be noted is that United are signing someone who won't wilt within the hectic nature of Championship football's midfield battles. In fact, it is something the player will relish. He's hugely combative, looking to press and close down opponents when his opportunity presents itself. Sitting at the base of a midfield, he provides the team with a defensive platform, really aggressive in how he attacks the ball when it is in the air or he goes to engage an opponent. In possession, he is impressive, keeping it simple, unless there is a forward pass. He will show the ambition to fire one into the attacking third at pace and with accuracy. His energy out of possession and willingness to get on the ball will be a nice addition to the United midfield. Preston North End, Cameron Archer. He's a goal scorer who will score more goals for Preston. He can do the horrible side of things. His forte is scoring goals. He's small, he's stocky, he throws his body around, and is strong, but more importantly, he's a poacher in the box. He's even scored a goal on his debut. He may have scored more now since I found that out, but yeah. Queen's Park Rangers, David Marshall. He's one of the best Scotland goalkeepers of all time, having made 47 appearances for country, but slipped behind Craig Gordon due to his lack of game time at Derby. I would argue Craig Gordon is actually a better goalkeeper, but nobody knows why he stopped playing for Derby, as he's certainly experienced at this level, having made 573 senior appearances, all but 108 of those in the Championship. Especially with Dieng's injury, this is a great signing. He's got at long balls in passing and saving close range shots. Just don't expect him to do great from long range shots, as proven in the Euros. Yeah, became a bit of a meme, really, did he? Reading, comments. That's where he's ended up. Well, Ince a left-footed player and began his career as a left winger. However, when he joined Blackpool, he was often deployed on the right, either as a winger or an inside forward, cutting in on his favoured left foot. He has also played more centrally as an attacking midfielder or forward. Ince's main attributes are his pace, acceleration, and skill on the ball. He has said that he enjoys exciting people, scoring goals, creating goals, and is not one of those old-fashioned wingers who just gets crosses in. I like to create things, show bits of magic. Sheffield United, Adam Davis. His style is simply solid. Davis makes the saves he should make and is a calming presence on crosses and also while playing the ball. He helped Stoke to avoid relegation in the 2019-20 season. He's also made 2 appearances for Wales, and he comes in to replace Olsen and will challenge with Frotheringham in the number 1 position. And that is what is important for the Blades at the moment, really. Stoke City, Phil Jagielka. Phil Jagielka has continually impressed since joining Everton in 2007 from Sheffield United. Yet it was in 2009 when he truly announced himself. He delivered many classy displays for Everton, was instrumental in the Toffees' run to the FA Cup final, and ended the season winning Everton's Player of the Year award. He also appeared for England regularly, making 40 appearances. Jagielka was pivotal to Everton. Jagielka's best features are his robust ability in the tackle, as well as his overall command from the back. In 2019-20, Jagielka contested 78 tackles, winning 54, an amount only beaten by Company and Vidic. The departing Jagielka will create a huge void in the Derby squad that would take considerable filling, and I personally was really sad to see him go. I really liked him. And forget the fact that he's almost 40 years old, but I really think he's a good player, and I just don't see why. I see the EFL wanted to screw Derby over, basically, so that's why he joined Stoke. It's just, I think he would have done amazingly well if he stayed at Derby. Swansea City, Andy Fisher. He can play well with the ball at his feet. His spell at MK Dons highlighted his potential that he could reach. He is hungry to try and become the first team keeper. While Fisher is aware of a requirement to be confident and effective with the ball at his feet, that feeds into Swansea's possession-based play, but his stats show that he is also capable when it comes to shot stopping and handling. Despite having a relatively short stint at MK Dons, he is already 5th on their all-time clean sheets record over the club's 18 years of existence. Fisher is happy to prove himself and will keep both the ball out of the net and do well at feet. Finally for today, as you can tell my voice is going really quite bad, West Bromwich Albion, Daryl DK. DK's career is only just taking shape. The 21-year-old has made 54 professional league appearances before signing for West Brom. In that time, he scored 27 goals and registered 6 assists. Since joining Barnsley in February, his stats are mightily impressive. He has accrued 4.52 expected goals from 11 starts and 5 substitute appearances. This works out at 0.37 expected goals per 95 minutes. But more impressive is that he's averaging 0.74 goals per 95. When we dig into his numbers compared with other strikers in the division, he has the lethal goal conversion rate of 37.5% and the third best shot on target ratio of 54.5%. DK is lethal. DK's conversion rate of 37.5% is also very high compared with elite strikers. Only 3 forwards in Europe's top 5 leagues have a better conversion rate than the American. DK is a 6'2" striker who is able to use his physical attributes to hold the ball up and get in behind teams. He perfectly suits West Brom's direct and intense style of play, although that I don't imagine that will change too much with a change of manager that has just occurred recently, with Steve Bruce coming in. He's quite an old school guy as well. This is evident from the fact that he is one of the best in the league for touches in the opposition box, with 4.2 per 95 minutes. He also averages a huge 20.35 aerial duels per 95, of which he has a 37.2% success rate. You may be wondering why I'm using 95 minutes, not like 90 minutes of a normal length of match. It's because averaging, there's normally about 5 minutes added on per game. He is also able to use his ability to link up play. He's only managed to create chances equating to 0.61 expected assists for his teammates and only registered 3 assists at Barnsley, so could probably work about being unselfish. Well, thank you very much for watching. Please subscribe if you are new around here. That would be hugely appreciated. I mean, what have we got coming up? We've got next week. We've got the League One equivalent of this video. I will not be going to a football club. I've still got my laptop back. I'm quite annoyed about that at the moment. I've been told I'm getting it back on Sunday, so that is the main reason why I'm not running, because I won't be able to plan the route and get the information in time to get to Spondon without it getting dark. But on Monday there will be a video about the history of Lincoln City in the series History of Your Club. But goodbye for now.